Phil Spencer just exposed the most sociopathic corporate mindset in gaming history. Yesterday, he sent a memo to Xbox employees bragging about how Xbox has more players, games, and gaming hours than ever before, and that their platform, hardware, and game roadmap have never looked stronger. The same memo where he fired thousands of people. But here's my favorite bit. The success that we're seeing currently is based on tough decisions we've made previously. He's literally crediting firing people for Xbox's success in writing. I've got Spencer's contradictory statements going back years, the financial data showing record profits during mass layoffs, and the graveyard of decade-long projects that he's just binned. This isn't just corporate incompetence, this is a masterclass in gaslighting an entire industry. But let's read Spencer's own words, shall we? So he said in his email to Xbox staff, "We would not be where we are today without the time, energy, and creativity of those whose roles are impacted." And that translates to, "Thanks for building Xbox, now get out." PC Gamer for once got something right. They said it was an insensitive, insulting collection of crocodile tears. Spot on. But wait, we've got even more corporate poetry here. So he said, "Our platform, hardware, and game roadmap have never looked stronger," while announcing thousands of layoffs. He's literally bragging about Xbox's health in the same breath as firing the people who made it healthy. What about the damage? Well, Turn 10 Studios lost nearly 50% of their staff. The Initiative Studio completely shut down after 7 years, never shipped a single game. Rare's Everwild game, 10 years in development, binned. ZeniMax's secret MMO called Blackbird, 7 years in development, 200 developers, gone. And here's the bit that should terrify every single remaining Xbox employee. Phil saying, "The success we're currently seeing is based on tough decisions we've made previously." What Phil's doing there is he's telling his remaining staff that firing their colleagues is why Xbox is successful. That to me is not a layoff announcement. That's literally a threat. Now look, I'm sure some of you are thinking this is just business, tough decisions, market reality, all that corporate bollocks. Companies make cuts, executives say stupid things. It's just how the industry works. But Phil's memo reveals something much bigger, and I can tell you why this isn't just another layoff story. It's literally a blueprint for how gaming's biggest corporate psychopath systematically lies to an entire industry while pocketing millions for himself and the other executives and shareholders. To me, it's financial gaslighting. So let's talk about the money. So Microsoft made $88.1 billion of profit in 2024. Not revenue, profit. That's up 22% from the year before. But here's the biggest kick in the balls. So Satya Nadella, that's Microsoft's CEO, Spencer's boss, saw his pay increase 63% to $79.1 million in 2024. And at the same time, Microsoft increased their dividends by 10% to shareholders and authorized a $60 billion stock buyback program. Plus, Phil Spencer's annual salary is estimated around $10 million. So they found the money for all of that easy. But thousands of Xbox employees are apparently too expensive. The savings from those layoffs represent less than 1% of Microsoft's annual profit. Spencer fired thousands of people to save what Microsoft makes in about 3 days. That's not cost cutting, that's performative cruelty for Wall Street. And it's an entire web of lies. It's systematic lying. Spencer's been claiming Xbox is healthier than ever while conducting mass layoffs for almost 2 years straight now. January 2024, after firing 1,900 people, he said, "The people impacted should be proud of everything they've accomplished." May 2024, Xbox closes 4 studios, including Tango Gameworks. Then in September 2024, another 650 more cuts, and it's claimed that it's for sustainable growth. November 2024, just 6 months after closing studios, he said, "The Xbox business has never been more healthy." And then just yesterday, July 2025, "Our roadmap has never looked stronger," while firing thousands more. And you might say this is mixed messaging. It's not, it's pathological. Spencer's been crediting mass layoffs for Xbox's success for over 18 months now. Each round of cuts is just followed by declarations of unprecedented health. But the lies go deeper than that. In October 2020, Xbox acquired Bethesda, and Phil said at the time, "This deal was not done to take games away from another player base. We want more people to be able to play games, not fewer." And the reality of that was make Bethesda games exclusive to Xbox, then fire thousands of Bethesda employees. October 2023, they acquire Activision. Spencer promises to protect the acquired studios under new labor agreements. The FTC alleges that Microsoft explicitly promised regulators no layoffs to get the deal approved. And then what happens? Well, surprise, surprise, January 2024, just a few months later, 1,900 Activision employees fired. Xbox and Phil Spencer spent over $75 billion buying studios while promising to empower them, then systematically destroying their work and firing the people. You want more proof? Well, look at this. So in June 2024, Perfect Dark was showcased. Phil said, "It's all playable, all in-game. I'm so proud of the team." And then in July 2025, the studio closed, the game cancelled. February 2025, talking about Everwild, Phil said, "It's nice to see the progress they're making." And then what happens? Just yesterday, the project cancelled after 10 years. Spencer has been personally hyping these projects months before binning them. He's looking developers in the eyes, praising their work, then firing them in an email memo. It's corporate sadism. Perfect Dark and the Initiative Studio was Microsoft's answer to Sony's Santa Monica studio. It was a purpose-built quadruple A team staffed with industry veterans. The game was in development for 7 years. 7 years of work binned. Everwild, Rare spent over 10 years on this in different stages. A decade of creative work from one of gaming's most legendary studios gone down the toilet. Then there's ZeniMax Online's Blackbird MMO, 7 years in development, 200 developers, never even announced to the public. Some employees literally found out that they'd been fired when their Slack access got revoked. That's not how you treat people who spent 7 years building your secret project. And the memo language is just an insult. We would not be where we are today without the time, energy, and creativity of those whose roles are impacted. Thanks for 7 years building the initiative, now fuck off. These decisions are not a reflection of talent, just a reflection that your talent doesn't matter when Spencer needs to hit quarterly targets. But the most sociopathic bit of it all was Spencer saying yesterday, "The success we're seeing currently is based on tough decisions we've made previously." He's literally telling the remaining employees that firing their colleagues created Xbox's success, that previous layoffs is why Xbox is thriving. Think about that message. Imagine you were working at Xbox. You survived this round because your fired co-workers made Xbox better. Their suffering is your success. It's psychological warfare against your own workforce. Every remaining Xbox employee knows they're one tough decision away from being credited for someone else's success. None of this was inevitable. Microsoft made $88 billion in profit. They chose to give Nadella a 63% pay rise instead of keeping people employed, instead of keeping games in development. They chose shareholder dividends over developer salaries. They had the money, they just decided that the executives and the investors mattered more than the people making the games. Every developer watching this knows they're expendable, regardless of how well their games perform. Firing people is a feature, not a bug. The success comes from these tough decisions, not despite them. This is what gaming looks like when shareholders matter more than the people making the games, when executive compensation matters more than creative talent, when quarterly profits matter more than decade-long artistic visions. Spencer bought the future of gaming for multiple billions, then fired the people who were supposed to build the future of gaming. And anyway, if you made it this far, what a fucking joke, right? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.